We've also been talking about crazy things like, could I climb it at night with a headlamp? Could we get up at 4 in the morning and climb it from 5 till 8 in the morning before it gets too hot? But all of those things just add another layer of like things that are more difficult, and I'm just not good enough on this climb for anything to be more difficult.
To 1 to 10, how tired are you?
Right now?
Yeah.
1 to 10? 10 being really tired. Like a 7.5.
It's getting better though with your crew.
Yeah, it helps. Having people, otherwise I probably would have left like an hour ago. Come on, come on. I've mainly been climbing with my 2 friends, Colette and Tyler, who live in Vegas, and a couple other friends here and there, but they've been like my main crew that I've been training with at the gym. Come on. Come on. Stay on.
No, take it. That was the hardest thing I've ever tried in my life.
That was sick.
Dude.
I haven't been climbing at the VRG because I'm just a little tired of climbing there, honestly. And there's actually quite a bit for me to do there, but I'm just not that motivated. And I'm more motivated to train and get strong for the spring and summer than I am to climb at the VRG.
Gotcha.
So the day-to-day for us in Vegas has been, on Adrian's rest days, I tend to train. So I will either go climb outside with friends or somewhere else other than the VRG, or I'll climb in the gym and train in the gym while Adrian rests. And then on my rest days, that's when I go to the VRG and just belay Adrian on his route.
So we actually just finished up a full month in Las Vegas, with me climbing on Fall of Man. We hadn't actually anticipated a full month. We were planning on like 2 weeks, but then it seemed like I was getting close. Like I'm actually, for the past month, I've been trying to send the route. I'm not working on the route anymore. So I've been trying for weeks, and we did 2 weeks and we added a week and then we added another week because I was so close. This route is so at my max and I'm so close to sending that now what I need is a lot of rest, and I need the perfect conditions and the right day, and my head's gotta be in the right place and all these annoying things that don't have much to do with climbing.
Ready? A little further this time.
So I first started on Fall of Man right around Thanksgiving. And at that time I was climbing like 2 days on, 1 day off. really learning the route, having so much fun. And we were kind of doing 2 weeks on down in Vegas, and then 2 weeks home, skiing, work on Alpenglow. Then as the winters progressed, I've been spending fewer days actually climbing, more days resting, to where now I'm probably climbing once every 3 or 4 days, and the rest of the time I'm resting. But I think I climbed 2 out of the last 10 days because the weather's been so bad. Too hot, it's getting too hot. The season's almost over. Maybe it is over in the BRG. And so we've come home, and it's pretty frustrating.
Hi. It's hard to know what you should be doing.
No, I'm so split.
Because it just depends on when we want to go back, and it depends on the weather, and it's always just like a hard balance of like rest versus training more for your mind. Like, I don't think you're going to get any stronger or better.
Yeah.
Right now.
But it's also getting hot, and I'm sort of like,
Yeah.
should I be thinking about what's next? Because
What do you mean what's next?
like what's after Fall of Man? Like summer, Pakistan, Yosemite, climbing 8A somewhere else, because we might only have a day or 2 left. And they might not even be good days. I mean, we climbed 2 out of the last 10 days.
But I think when you get ahead of yourself like that, that's not helpful. Like, you just have to focus on what you want to do. Because it's going to take everything you have in order to do it. Like, you can't be multitasking so much all the time. You know, like, you can't be like...
That's all I do.
Trying to work and trying to train, but also trying to rest and stressing about the weather, and then stressing about Pakistan and Yosemite and trying to train for those things when you're trying to send the hardest route you've ever climbed. Like, it just doesn't, none of that fits. I think with sport climbing projects, you have to learn that, like, you can't multitask. You have to focus on what you're doing, and then kind of everything has to revolve around that, because otherwise you just won't have the energy that you need to put towards it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Being home is interesting. It's this massive relief, being in a home that I love, eating exactly what food I want to eat, having snow and mountains and silence around me instead of like 18-wheelers and highways and casinos. So home's amazing, but it's also like really stressful, because after I've been gone for a couple of weeks, when I come home, I'm trying to ski, I'm trying to shoot content for my sponsors, and I'm trying to like manage this amazing company, Alpenglow, that just keeps growing and being more and more exciting and demands a lot of my time. So normally I just survive on coffee and butter. That's my life. But sport climbing has turned me into like a supplement person. I would literally take anything if it would help me climb Fall of Man. So I've been taking protein powder, beetroot juice, creatine, getting big, collagen. And then I've been getting these crazy calf cramps, like in the night, that I can't even sleep. They're so painful and so often. So I'm taking like magnesium and potassium and a zinc sports recovery mix. Yeah, that's everything. So now like every day I take like 14 pills at different times of day and drink pink beetroot juice. What do you think? Is it helping?
This is what I've been eating.
The progress was really slow, and it was a lot of times there was a lot of backwards progress, which is completely a part of projecting, and it's something that I fully expected to happen, and I kept telling him that like, this is what happens. Like, you don't just keep going, getting better and better and better until you send. Like, a lot of times you get better and better and better, and you think you're gonna send, and then you get worse for a period of time, and you have to sort of like overcome that hurdle. So that's something that I completely expected, and I think that we're kind of in that, where we just went through a period of time where that was happening, and it was really discouraging and really frustrating and really hard, and caused, I think, both of us to kind of doubt whether or not he could do it.
I mean, at this point, most people would say the season in the VRG is basically over. Especially this season, it seems like it's getting really hot really fast, and Vegas locals are talking about how much earlier in the season it's getting too hot to climb. The last couple of days we've been to the VRG, there's been basically no one else there. They've all moved on to other cliffs that are better for hotter temperatures. So we actually don't even know if there is another period. I'm kind of watching next week. I'm like completely obsessed with weather forecasts, just like I am when climbing 8,000 meter peaks in the Himalaya, like trying to find a cold front that will come through and might drop the temperatures enough to get another window. We've also been talking about crazy things like, could I climb it at night with a headlamp? Could we get up at 4 in the morning and climb it from 5 till 8 in the morning before it gets too hot? But all of those things just add another layer of like things that are more difficult, and I'm just not good enough on this climb for anything to be more difficult.